Steve Dangle Podcast. Powered by Sports Interaction. Wanna bet?
Steve the Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Oh, baby! I'm excited for this one. This is a Jesse idea, and it is going to create chaos. Absolute chaos. By the way, if you're listening to this, is this the Monday episode?
Yeah, today is January 2nd.
Happy New Year!
Yeah, Happy New Year.
New Year, new us.
New
Except
Year.
not really, because this is the Hot Take Show.
Yeah, today we're calling it Hottakeapalooza. We're going to the Hot Take Festival, and everybody's going to have 5 minutes to perform their set on stage, which means you get 5 minutes to give your hot take. We'll all rotate, take turns. We each have 4 hot takes. And then when that 5-minute buzzer hits, we're done talking about
debate.
On to the next one.
Okay, all right.
All right? Everybody got the rules?
Yes. Now, I feel like, Steve, because Steve and I, obviously, we didn't do our homework properly, so we did cram a little bit before the exam.
Yes.
Jesse's prepared. Jesse's idea. I feel like Jesse should lead.
No,
I
I can't
agree with
lead.
You can't lead? Why can't you lead?
David Bastel needs to lead.
Oh, let's bring on Dave. Dave, get on here.
You can bet that with David Bastel. Brought to you by Sports Interaction. Get in the action and make a play. 19 plus. Please play responsibly.
Okay, so Jesse has been pushing for this one for a long, long time. Dave, tell him what you got. 50 willy-nilly.
Yeah, 50 willy-nilly. Well, Jess asked for it. Jess is going to get it, right? So there is a prop right now at Sports Interaction under Dangle's Doozies, of course. Its own proper section. Will William Nylander record a 50-goal season, which would be tremendous. Yes is actually a respectable 360. No is 125. Obviously, the odds are no, but the way Willie's playing right now, Jess, I mean, I got a feeling you may have already bet this.
There's no slowing him down. Like I don't see how he doesn't put up the best career of his entire, the best season of his entire career and get real close to that 50-goal mark.
And now he's gotten better defensively, so he's out there at the end of games getting empty netters.
Yes,
Uh-oh.
yeah. A couple weeks ago would have been now when he potted that empty netter. It was a beautiful thing to see.
Dave, what are the odds here? Like for your yeses and your nos, what are we actually looking at in real numbers?
Real numbers. So yes for William Nylander is about 3.5 to 1. So you put down your dollar, you get 3.5 on it. No is very small, so you don't want to bet the no. You want to bet the yes. You want to cheer for the goals, right?
Yeah.
So it's a 125. So for the no,
I don't mind. I mean, it's entire. First off, it's always been impossible.
You both
For
looked
him.
at me like, what's it going to be, Steve? $2 or no?
Are you gonna drop your toonie?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I think we're seeing him enter a new stage of his career where he's becoming this dynamic goal scorer, and you play on any top line in the entire league and put up 40 to 50 goals.
To score more goals in the regular season, the king of Arizona, who will it be this year? Now, going into this year, you would have thought, well, that's easy. It's Austin Matthews. He's on there, but he may not win because who else is up there with him, Dave?
yeah, Tage Thompson, the only guy that scores in Buffalo, apparently, right?
Yes.
So I mean, he has a substantial lead right now. We wanted to throw it out there as a little bit of a carrot because we know that Matthews is very capable of, scoring 5 goals in 2 games or 7 goals in 3 games. And all of a sudden he's back in the race, so to speak. So, a substantial lead right now against a guy that's getting all sorts of time with the Buffalo Sabres on the first line on the power plays, but it is the Buffalo Sabres. Are you guys thinking that, Matthew could obviously catch up to him? The bets right now, the odds say that he will catch up to him or at least make this interesting.
I'm going to stay away from that one because Tage has to do too much for the Sabres. Like, he's taxed with being their entire offense, whereas you're seeing Matthews defer a lot more now. I'm staying away.
I like that. I like that.
If we go back to the beginning of this conversation, William Nylander is siphoning enough goals from Austin Matthews that Tage Thompson's probably going to put up more goals than Matthews this season. I'm taking Tage in that bet.
Yeah. Okay, I think that you guys both of you are losing your minds. Austin Matthews is a pure goal scorer. He's done this a million times.
So is Tage.
And yeah, don't worry. The back half of the year, Austin Matthews has got this. It's fine. $2. Boom. Done.
There's your toonie. Let's do
There's
it.
your tune.
Drop a toonie on him. All right, Dave, thanks so much. And obviously you'll be back Wednesday and Friday this week.
Look forward to it, guys.
All right, Jesse, are you going to lead us off with your hot take here?
I can definitely lead us off here.
And are you keeping track of the time? Do you need me to do the time?
So I got the timer here. It'll buzz when the 5-minute set is done. When your time is off, you got to stop talking about it. Okay. I'll set the timer right now. My first hot take here of the day is it's better watching sports at home than it is in the arena.
Hard disagree.
I gotta be honest here. It is with one caveat. Regular season sports are better at home than in the arena, because I've been to enough playoff moments where I'm like, I was at the Kawhi shot. I was at the Blue Jays walk-off homer during the wild card game.
The bat flip game.
Orioles, not the bat flip game. I wasn't there. The Orioles walk-off.
I think I was at that one too.
Edwin one. Yeah. Those are unbelievable moments in the playoffs. Those are irreplaceable. Regular season sports, give or take. That the viewing experience at home has gotten so good that I wouldn't trade it for the in-arena experience.
You know what? He's got a point.
I pause the frequency at I pause my TV and I go back and I watch something else just to get another angle of it. I pause it to go do something else. I come back and I restart the game. Sit on my couch having access to everything. It reminds me of the work from home revolution in the COVID pandemic.
How about this one? Legendary. Going to the bathroom takes 30 seconds.
Food isn't $400
and no one else is there.
You know what's weird too is in Toronto, for some reason at Scotiabank you can't get a coffee anymore.
Yeah,
they cannot. They don't actually serve coffee in the arena.
There's like one Timmy's.
No, there isn't. It's gone.
They took it out.
I swear to you, you cannot get a coffee.
You have to be.
No, I don't think you can. Wow. You can't even get it delivered to your seat. You know, like if you sit in like the platinums or the golds or the whatever.
It's definitely not on the menu. Like
no, you cannot get coffee.
Someone got burned and someone got sued.
No, you know what I think is maybe that Tim Hortons is still there.
Maybe,
but I'm telling you, they don't have like a big coffee sponsor that's coming in bot space. That's why. That's 100% it is. By the way, Jesse, I disagree with you.
Oh yeah, I disagree.
And I'll tell you why. For me, going to the game, it's a ritual, right? So when Natalie and I go, and you met us for a couple of these games, especially the playoff one.
Unbelievable.
Different though.
Playoff. Different.
My whole thing is that the game begins at like 3:00 in the afternoon.
Jesus.
Okay.
Because you're starting 7:00 puck drop.
Yes, because you're starting to get ready, right? You're like, okay, you hit the 3:00 marker. You're like, do I need a nap? Because I wake up early, wake up 4:30. I want to make sure, do I need a nap to be awake and be fired up for this game?
You don't hear the burden you're describing.
Yeah, what the hell are you talking about?
So if I don't need a nap, okay.
Anything that takes all fucking day sucks.
I'm gonna. Yeah. No, that doesn't suck. This is the exciting part. I'm building up.
Steve, for you and like coming down on the train from Ajax.
It starts at 3 for him too.
Oh
yeah, it's a burden.
Tell me regular season hockey isn't perfect on your couch.
Part of the reason that I like only going to a handful of Leaf games a season is to keep it special, but also as I get older, it's kind of a fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah, kids.
I don't.
You gotta lug them places. You gotta find a sitter.
I'm not. Yeah, you find a sitter. But I like the fact that it's like you get your stuff ready to go. You go have a shower. Natalie and I, when we go, we always go to a restaurant beforehand.
We go to a nice shower.
We have a nice dinner. We have a nice sushi dinner because we don't want it to weigh too heavy.
See, that's part of the experience. I like that. I like that.
So it's like, and then so that the two of us, we get to talk and connect.
I like that a lot.
Then I crush a couple vodka sodies, doubles, and then I walk into that arena just a little bit loop-de-loo. And you know what's fun is that we always run into SDP listeners there. Always. You cannot go to the Leaf game without somebody just going, I love the show.
Belligerently drunk going, ah!
No, but it's so nice, right? It's so and then we sit down in the seats and you're watching warm up, and then the pump up video goes on, the lights come up, the players come out, you feel that rush of emotion.
Adam, I have 50 seconds left on my clock. If that experience that you just described, that burden of a day, you get to do that 41 times, or you get to sit on your couch 41 times. What are you doing? I'm
going to the game 41 times.
Oh,
I love live sports. Give me live sports all the time.
41. There isn't a sport on earth or an athlete on earth I would watch 41 times a year in person.
Wow.
It's not worth it.
If I lived next to the arena, I wouldn't get in the elevator 41 times.
Man, I had a girlfriend that worked for the Jays once, and I was at 40-something games that year, and I loved it. For free. Because I couldn't afford them, obviously.
Absolutely not.
No, absolutely
No, it's too much. It's become the at home is too comfy, and going out to the arena is too much. That I think it's easy to say.
Wow. That's going to be a take
At home experience much better than in arena. Done.
Steven, go.
Yeah, if the playoffs are unrivaled, it doesn't apply.
Playoffs unrivaled doesn't apply. Playoffs will go in every
buzzer's
playoff
gone
game.
off. Move on.
You're at 450.
There's something that we often say. And there are things that we often say that are just things that become things that we say. We don't check them often enough to just double check that they're right. And one of those things is goal scoring is the hardest thing to do in hockey.
What?
No, it absolutely is not. It is not the hardest thing to do in the sport. And there's a argument that we've had recently, or a discussion that we had recently that proved it to me. Has Alexander Ovechkin had a better hockey career than Sidney Crosby? No, he has not. This is very clear. This is very obvious to anyone that has watched them for their entire careers. Mm-hmm. Alexander Ovechkin has something like 250 more goals than Sidney Crosby. By the time it's all said and done, not only will he have more goals than Wayne Gretzky, he will have done it in fewer games. All things considered, it's entirely possible. He has not done it yet. He may never even get there. But the only reason there is any sort of Ovechkin versus Crosby debate is because Ovechkin has more goals. Sidney Crosby plays the harder position. He is the better hockey player. He's the more complete hockey player, and he has won more. I can't tell you exactly I can tell you the hardest thing to do in all of sports. It's win! Yes, you need goals to win, but winning is a collection of things. It is work. It is back-checking. It is playmaking, and it is goal scoring. Goal scoring is only one part of winning. You are not the best player because you are the best goal scorer. Goal scoring is not the hardest thing to do in hockey.
I think the question isn't really like the hardest thing to do in hockey is to be a goalie. That is, I think that
stopping goals,
being a goalie is the hardest thing in hockey for me. If I'm going to, so I agree. Absolutely. It's the hardest thing because there's like 10 good goalies and the rest of them are like, whatever. And so here's where I'll agree with you. Scoring goals is not the hardest thing, but it is the most important thing.
What about stopping them? The
hardest
if you
thing.
have the greatest game of your life, you're going to score on me 3 times. If I have the greatest game of my life, I'm going to stop you 60 times.
Yeah.
50, 60 times.
No, it's easier to stop a puck.
You think it's easier?
Yeah, because you do it at a 90% clip and you
but
score.
So few are good at it.
Yeah, but if you're good at scoring, you score at like 18%. You know? Like, so it's harder to do the 18% thing than it is to do the 90% thing. Like, even if you're a bad goalie and you have an 868, 86% is a lot higher than 15%. So I think just by the percentages, scoring is more difficult. But the winning thing...
There's a lot more people scored a lot more goals.
Winning's more difficult than Alexander Ovechkin is the best player ever.
We're taking away from Steve's point, which is the winning is the most difficult.
Right, but you're talking about an aspect versus a goal. You can't... Those are not the same.
Yeah, how do we...
Scoring a goal versus winning a game is not the same.
How do we quantify those two things? How do we compare cups to goals?
You know what we've discovered in Gary Bettman's NHL, and we actually saw this relatively recently. I think it was a game between the Avalanche and the Islanders. A team won a game, and it wasn't the team that had a goalie get a 46 save shutout. You can win a game without scoring a goal these days. You can win a game without doing the most important thing. Yeah, but they're shootout goals. Not the same. It is not the same. The guys who had the hardest job that evening was both goalies. You can win a hockey game.
How much time on the clock?
Without scoring a goal.
45 seconds.
45 seconds.
It's not. If it was the hardest thing to do in the sport, there would be absolutely no question that Wayne Gretzky is currently the best player ever, and Alexander Ovechkin will take over.
I don't think anybody's saying it's the hardest. Who are these people that you're listening
Goal
to?
scoring is the hardest thing to do in hockey. Mm-hmm. You say it every second show.
No, I say
it's not fucking true.
I say they're more important than assists. That's what I say.
Goals are more important than assists.
They're doubly important over assists.
We know that.
Of the scoring things that you can do, goals.
Some goals are more important than some assists.
Steve's point is very true, because if we held goals up to the standard that I think people perceive it as, it would Ovechkin would easily be the greatest player of all time. But we clearly there's different levels to the greatness here,
right.
In that
it's overall play.
Winning means everything.
We all acknowledge that Matthews might have had the best season of anyone last year, but he's not the best player. Anyway,
I thought the buzzer went.
Adam, you're up.
Hey, Steve,
go ahead. Adam, you're up.
Steve,
hey, Adam,
you have 4 minutes 45 seconds.
All of my takes begin with "I'm 100% certain that."
Okay, shut
up. 100% certain that, and I'm going to start my 4 takes with this one. I'm 100% certain that there are no actual, real Meghan Trainor fans out there.
What?
There are no Meghan Trainor fans. Show me one person. Do you know one person in your life who would list Meghan Trainor as their number 1 favorite artist? And yet,
yes,
that song, Made You Look, has been the number 1 song on TikTok forever. And I'm telling you, there's something about that. There's something fishy about.
You think it's a conspiracy?
I think it's called payola. I think there's a record company going, hey, TikTok, we really need this single to do well. Here's some money. And TikTok's going, sure, why not?
You don't think
there's
it's catchy?
Wrong. Okay. Do you know anybody who's like, you know what? Meghan Trainor's coming to town. Concert tickets are $100 for sure.
Back in the day.
Do you know any? You would?
I'm on.
We're all about that bass, no treble.
I'm on Ticketmaster right now. I'm on Ticketmaster.ca,
yes.
And you can go to Meghan Trainor tickets and read the reviews that people have left on Meghan Trainor tickets on Ticketmaster.
Sure.
This person, who goes by the name of Lydia, writes, Meghan Trainor is a very professional performer. Meghan sings sarcastically interesting lyrics, as in one song she sings about a future husband, and is this being the Untouchable tour.
Can I just say, if you leave a review on anything positive or negative, red flag.
Yeah, that's fair. There's
another person writes, good show, very entertaining. It was nice how she thanked her fans at the end.
Oh, man. She's the first artist to do that.
A staple of any Meghan Trainor concert.
Welcome back to our favorite city, Springfield. I am telling you, do you know a single person, look at me in the eye right now, that's like, Meghan Trainor, not only is she in my top 5, she's my number one artist? No. And you know what? Meghan seems like a really great person. She's extremely talented. Her songs are very catchy. But I'm telling you, I do not believe it. I don't believe it. And I worked in pop music for 16 years.
Here's why I think you're wrong to single her out. Because what you're describing is the woman's equivalent of Pitbull.
Oh, Pitbull's got fans.
Pitbull is number one.
He's got
fans, Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah, everywhere.
Really?
Yo, if you want to go Pitbull's concerts, I've been to one. They are wild.
Steve's got a great point. You might be describing 8 different pop stars. Are you describing the Black Eyed Peas?
People like the Black Eyed Peas.
Who's the number 1 Will.i.am fan out there?
Red flag.
You're right. Fair enough.
Red flag.
Fair enough. Who is a big Will.i.am fan? I don't know.
Does it exist?
I don't know. I could see Fergie on her own. London Bridge was kind of like,
Fergie
she was cool. She was cool.
London Bridge. That's a horrible
Fergalicious
song.
Deaf?
Horrible song.
Fergalicious Deaf?
Oh.
Fergalicious Definition.
She is barely above Lumi D in terms of talent. Like, she's brutal. Oh! Promise me! Nope, didn't hit that one. Nope, didn't hit that note either.
How much time
keep going for the next 4 minutes.
Who else?
You got a minute 15.
Who else fits into that? I'm not sure anyone actually listens to this, but the radio stations keep playing it category. Maroon 5 for me, although I do know there are Maroon 5 fans. I don't know who you are or why. All Maroon 5 do is they go, here's a mediocre catch, here's an up-and-coming black artist, boom, we got a hit music song.
I liked songs
Go through their
Jane.
features. Go through their features.
I like Songs for Jane, but that was
when we were in high school.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
And that guy bought a $75 million house.
He what?
Yes.
Adam Levine?
Yes.
Okay, no band is that good.
Well,
$75
no
million.
It's working for them. I'm just telling you.
That's a little too much money.
How many artists have ever been good enough to be able to buy the Phoenix Suns? I just don't think you should be able to do
He
that.
Couldn't.
Having been the lead man of
he still
Maroon
can't.
5.
$4
He still
billion.
can't.
No, but
billion?
if the whole band pooled their money.
No, still not.
$4 billion. That's the difference.
Oh, they couldn't even buy
They went for
Coyotes.
4.2. I think.
Cartoonish money.
Yeah,
Cartoonish
no,
money.
That's you went
just
a
a whole
little
different
far there, Steve.
Yeah.
Take it back a little.
Yeah.
Fair
All
enough.
of
Okay.
I know it's Hot Take-A-Palooza, but like chill.
Who else? Yeah, chill on Hottakeapalooza, please.
Damn, I wasn't expecting Adam to go non-hot.
Yeah.
So quick.
No, it was time.
That was out there.
Didn't mix it up.
I don't disagree with your take at all. I don't think there's a hardcore Meghan Trainor fan.
There we go. I'm leaving it. Jesse, you're up next, pal.
You should be able to return video games after 7 days.
Like
Okay.
a trial period. Like even if you download
I don't
them?
want the fucking free trial. I don't, because it's never the full game. Like EA has this thing where you get like EA Pass and you get the game for like 3 hours. You get a 3 hour time limit or something. I want 7 days with the video game, and then if I don't like it, I want full money back.
A lot of people would be able to complete it in that time, though, and so the developers would be like, "What the fuck?"
Don't care. So my thinking on this is that the amount of people who are going to leave it on their console and be like, "Oh, I forgot it's been 8 days and I can't return it anymore," that's going to equal out the people who are going to be like, "I can finish it in 7 days and do that." You know, the money is going to balance out. But the video game industry is so unfair. Do you remember being a kid and you'd get a game, and then as soon as you open the package, you go back to EB Games and you try and take it back, and they're like, "We'll give you 76 cents in NHL 98 if you want to return this for your trade-in." That's ridiculous. We've come to the point where the game exists entirely as a digital entity on your console.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to control whether I'm allowed to play this or not, they can. Sony can tell you can't access this online, you can't play it, blah, blah, blah. And if I want to return a game for all my money, that is entirely possible right now. And 7 days, I feel like, is enough time for me to try it out. Let me play franchise mode for a little bit. Let me know if I actually like NBA 2K23, and then I can give back my $70. $70, $80, the $120 Michael Jordan edition, Wayne Gretzky edition that they release, where you just get a bunch of free digital shit. That's too much money. You're spending way too much money on these video games that you got to at least let me return it if I don't like it.
Jesse, I own a pizza place. You come to my pizza place. You order a medium pizza. That's 8 slices. If you come back with a box and you say, "I didn't like this pizza," and I open the box and there's only 1 slice left, that means you ate 7 slices.
It means I liked it.
No, you came into my store and you said you didn't like it.
No, if I ate 7 slices, that means I liked it. If I see,
No, you came in and I'm trying to make an equivalency here. You ate 7 slices and you told me you didn't like it. I'm kicking you in the chest. You know why? Because you're trying to rob me
Exactly.
of my money.
I think he's right. I
I'm
think
not trying to rob video game developers.
There's an
here.
in between. There's an in between.
There's got to
the
be
money. The money is gonna work out for these people.
The in between.
Oh, I'm not defending video game companies, but you played the game for 7 days. You're not getting all your money back. No.
I want it all
The
back.
in between.
No, you're not getting it.
is-
I want a 7-day
Now what?
trial.
The
I'm
in
full game.
between.
Now what?
Full game.
is hours of gameplay. So not a 7-day trial, because maybe over those 7 days you're married with a kid and you don't get a chance to log on, right?
Sure.
I think what you say is 12 hours.
So they
12 hours.
have that. EA does it. I think it's a 3-hour limit
Not
right
enough
now.
time.
But you also, to get that,
Yeah,
the
3
full
hours
to
is not
get
enough.
the
You gotta
fucking
pay for that.
trials right now, you need to subscribe to the EA Play thing, and it's
Yep.
a monthly subscription like a Netflix. That's stupid.
Mhm.
Let all games just let me try it out. I'll concede that the hours thing, it works. They're getting there. But I think just like, let me try it out. Give me 7 days.
And you want the full game.
I want the full game too, because there's a whole
I'm with you.
whole bunch of difference between that demo version and then the full game you
Yep.
get.
Video games are heading in a direction where, you know what's going to be like an amazing Olympic sport, like what all our kids are going to be amazing at? Like
Fortnite.
handball, no, foot hockey,
You mean-
and all that. No, because these kids are going to be like, you know what? All these companies are fucking ripping us off. Let's play outside.
Fair.
Let's go play with sticks, and they're going to revert back to
or
playing marbles and hogs and shit.
Some billionaire with goofy money from tech is going to come up with a new console, and he's like, actually, you own these games again.
Oh, they're going to come up with a good model where the customer like actually gets the benefit.
People would jump on it.
All I'm saying is the number one team in NHL for a number of months was called, "This game cost $125." The people are rebelling.
They are.
They are pissed.
I think it's
Are you disappointed? Is it NHL specifically you're talking about?
No. Video games in general. I think there needs to be, because many people get so disappointed by games. Like, once you hit that thing where it's like, charge my card, PlayStation Network, $80 for my credit card, and then you start playing, you don't like it. Like, come on, the consumer, and they need to have some leeway here, where we're spending so much money on these damn games that, like, give me a chance to return it if you fucking sucked at building it.
I want to know what the most amount of money anyone has ever spent on Grand Theft Auto 5 is. That game came out in 2013. You can still play it online, and you can still pay for shit in the game.
Whoa.
There are probably people who have paid 5 digits to play Grand Theft Auto 5, maybe even more.
Steve, 5 minutes.
Well, I didn't expect to. I thought this was going to be more hockey, and this is about hockey. When you have an amazing career, and at the end of it, you got to wait a little bit, and then you can get inducted into this thing. Oh God, what's it called?
Hockey Hall of Good Guys.
Oh, the Hockey Hall of Good Guys. No, I don't think that's it.
Okay,
it's the Hockey Hall of what is it?
I'm the commissioner, so I will.
It's the Hockey Hall of Gary Bettman Likes You.
It's the Hockey Hall of, well, you're getting closer.
Hockey media
Hockey
people
Hall of Fame. What are some of the criteria to get into the Hockey Hall of Fame?
Well, you probably need over 1,000 points.
You probably need over 1,000 points.
Probably need to have a cup. Maybe.
That's what an accomplishment. Oh,
Yeah.
Stanley Cup.
Maybe.
There's another
Not always.
accomplishment. Not always, but that's a big accomplishment.
Maybe a Hart, maybe a Norris, maybe a Selke.
Big accomplishment. Huge accomplishment.
Right.
Bunch of goals.
Maybe a captain.
So let's change the name of that shit to the Hockey Hall of Accomplishments, because that's all it is. If it is truly the Hockey Hall of Fame, it shouldn't even be a debate that Paul Henderson should be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. This is very often a debate. Come Hall of Fame time, people go, Paul Henderson should be in the Hall of Fame, and a bunch of nerds who weren't even alive at the peak of his career say Paul Henderson should absolutely not be in the Hockey Hall of Fame for scoring one of the most famous goals in hockey history. Are you serious? He scored the tournament winner in 1972 in the Canada-Russia series.
3 games. 3 winners.
3 winners, but he scored the winner. Only one of them is the winner.
You're right.
And that one is the winner. I don't care if that was the only goal he scored in his entire career. He scored one of the most significant goals.
Why was he playing on the team? He's never played hockey before.
Yeah, oh my God, who is that? And they made a movie about it because it was so unlikely. You know, Phil Esposito took a shot and it went off of his ass and in. And all of a sudden, this dude who won a contest out of the seats, and they had oblong fitting equipment. Like, if it was the only goal he ever scored with a stick and skates, he would still belong in the Hockey Hall of Fame, because that's what the thing is. It is not famous. The Hockey Hall of Accomplishment.
Does PK Subban belong in the Hockey Hall of Fame?
PK Subban hasn't done anything remotely close to what Paul Henderson did with that goal in 1972.
He's about as famous.
Recently.
He's about.
We'll see in 30 years.
If it's the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Well, Phil Kessel.
Okay, so this has been, it's been 50 years since that goal was scored. Will PK be as famous as, or well known, I guess, as Paul Henderson is now? And what I'll say,
should Kevin Bieksa be in the Hockey Hall of Fame? He's on TV all the time.
Yeah, no,
he should be in the Canucks Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I believe
for sure he should.
There you go. Uwe Krupp should be in the Avalanche Hall of Fame.
Hockey Hall of Fame. He's on Hockey Night in Canada every week.
No, the historical significance of that one single goal should land Paul Henderson in the Hockey Hall of Fame. And I'll piggyback onto this. People always talk about her resume and her career. On top or beside, Manon Rhéaume should be in the Hockey Hall of Fame because of one exhibition game.
Yes.
I am willing to say, again, if that was the only game she ever played, she should be in the Hockey Hall of Fame because of one exhibition game that didn't even count. It counted to a lot of people. It is the Hockey Hall of Fame. That significant game and Henderson's significant goal should get both of those people in the Hockey Hall of Fame, regardless of their other accomplishments.
Now, Paul Henderson, you have to remember, played at a time when there was 12 teams. Most of the players were Canadian.
Okay.
And it was Team Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So to get onto the roster of Team Canada was extremely difficult. So people are like, they look at his stats and they go, whoa, what's this? Bullshit. Paul Henderson, for his time, was also a very good player.
You know what's amazing about his career?
People forget how good Paul Henderson was compared. Most of the NHL was Canadian.
He kind of caught lightning in a bottle. If you look at most of his career, it was relatively ordinary. Mm-hmm. And the peak of his career, where it crested, was right at 1972, right in time to be named to that team. There were, you hold that series in 68, 69, 70, 71. I don't know. 72, bing,
15
bang,
seconds
bong,
left.
and he scored the goal. He should be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. It shouldn't even be a debate. And piggybacking on top of that, Manon Rhéaume shouldn't even be a debate. Hockey Hall of Fame.
NHLers go to the Olympics next time. Somehow Zach Hyman's on the team. Zach Hyman scores the game-winning goal in triple overtime in the Olympics. Is he in the Hockey Hall of Fame?
Even if he does that, that goal wouldn't have the same significance as the one scored in 1972. But maybe it does. We don't know because I'm not there. Like, imagine Sidney Crosby had the career that Paul Henderson did.
Mm-hmm. And scored the golden goal.
And scored the golden goal in 2010. I don't think it'd be a debate.
Okay. Let's move on.
Adam, you're up.
As with all my hot takes today, I am 100% certain that eggplant is the most disappointing vegetable.
Oh!
I like eggplant.
You like eggplant how?
Like grilled.
And you like eggplant how? I can guarantee I know what it is.
With, what, do you have anything on it?
Yeah, like there are a lot of different ways I eat eggplant, like in sauces and stuff. Like it's mixed in like rice and soy sauce, or if it's in a pasta. Like some Italians like there's a lot of different ways.
Eggplant parm, even
eggplant parm. Yes, pasta.
Here's the whole thing about eggplant, guys. Eggplant is the most disappointing vegetable because you don't eat eggplant. You eat eggplant with other things that mask what eggplant actually tastes like. If you've actually eaten an eggplant, just a raw eggplant, it tastes like shit. Why would you do that? Because it's disappointing. It's the most disappointing vegetable. Most vegetables you can just eat. You can eat raw celery. You can eat raw carrots. You can eat raw broccoli. You can't eat raw eggplant. No one's sitting there going, you know what? Tonight, with my meal, I'm going to do a little raw eggplant. And I'm going to have a steak, and I'm going to have a starch there, too. It's going to be delicious. Raw eggplant.
I don't know if that's how most people eat vegetables.
Most people, here's the thing, most vegetables, you can eat raw. Eggplant, you cannot. Eggplant is overrated and bullshit, and honestly is mostly just filler in anything that it's in. It's never the star.
This is
never the star.
Not hot enough.
Yeah.
What?
Not hot enough.
Yeah.
There are maybe 5 edible vegetables.
Yeah.
There's my hot take.
Wow.
There are maybe 5. Every single vegetable you're thinking about right now that you like. You love that vegetable? Yeah? Do you love that vegetable or balsamic vinegar? Do you love that vegetable or all the seasoning and bullshit you got to put on it? That you named, what did you say? Celery? What psychopath has celery and says,
It tastes
you have
like
celery
shit.
with something. You dip it in something. All those veggie trays you buy for all those parties, you got to dip something. It comes with a dip in the middle. Fruit, you eat that shit and it's good naked.
You're right.
It's good naked on its own, the way God intended you to have it. God intended rabbits to have. Actually, no, it didn't. Rabbits shit themselves violently when they have carrots. Carrots can be sweet. Carrots are okay. But the vast majority of vegetables are flavorless, decorative water that stink unless you put something on
But
it.
you have to eat them.
Your thing about carrots is right, because baby carrots, like the ones you would actually
They're
like,
sweet and lovely.
those are so genetically modified,
And they're so terrible
They're
for you.
barely carrots.
Because vegetables naturally are garbage.
suck.
Now, hold on a sec. Did I say that vegetables are a success story that we need to talk more about?
You singled out one, and I think that's wrong.
I said yes, because one has to be the worst, and eggplant is it. Listen, I don't disagree with you. I think vegetables are kind of disappointing on the whole. I do like myself some broccoli and cauliflower, I'm not going to lie. But I'll tell you something. The most disappointing of all
Eggplant.
is eggplant. Prove me wrong. Where is it ever something that's not just filler, mushy shit? Because that's what it is. You cook that, you grill that, it's mushy shit.
Also, Italians During some of my darker days, I looked up foods that help cause anxiety, and it explains a lot about us.
Eggplant parm, by the way. Is anybody... I'm going to put 2 sandwiches in front of you. I got an eggplant parm, and I got a chicken parm.
Chicken parm every time.
Fucking right. Why? Because eggplant sucks. And I need people to stop pretending. We have to stop pretending. The only thing that's good about the eggplant is the emoji. Okay?
Yes.
And the use of the emoji. If it was not for the eggplant, absolutely.
Manscaped.
That's what I'm saying.
Eggplant emoji.
Find me a more disappointing vegetable. You can't. Find me one.
Oh, boy. See, man, you're right. All the vegetables we like are genetically modified. Brussels sprouts, they had to genetically modify out the bitter taste.
That's right. That's right.
And to make it good, you got to put, what do you got to put in it? Sauce and butter and a bunch of bullshit.
Cabbages too, I think they've changed. Well, because Brussels sprouts are like a derivative of cabbage.
Lettuce. Who has ever...
No one's eaten dry lettuce.
Been like, this is great. Like,
you're right.
What's that comic where it's like, hey, would you like the soup or the salad? And the guy goes, I desire leaves because they are aliens, right? I desire leaves. And then he looks at himself in the mirror. He's like, who are you? No one desires leaves. Vegetables stink. You like the things that you put on vegetables. God damn it, Adam, I'm with you.
I like cherry tomatoes.
Okay.
Like those are good.
Yeah, those are
good.
I'll eat tomato. I love tomatoes.
Let's all
But
stop.
that's fruit.
It's a fruit.
Tomatoes are fruit.
So it's a fruit.
They have a seed.
You know how I know that? Because they're good.
Yeah.
Tomatoes are fruits?
Tomatoes are fruit.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit,
And
right?
don't give me your potatoes and all that shit. Those are legumes. Those are different. Thank you very much.
Potatoes a legume?
I believe I'm
Or is
back
it a
up on the
starch?
clock.
Starch. But there's like a legume and there's like... Anyway, whatever.
Isn't
We're
that
going to do
nuts?
it. There's some
Start my
sort of
clock.
classification. All right. Go ahead, Jesse.
Start my
Sorry.
clock.
Go.
We should, as a society, let people not enjoy things. We have to let people miss out on things and not consume them.
Like eggplant.
There are too many things now, and everybody says, oh, have you seen this? And you say, no, I haven't. And they're like, what? You haven't seen this? And it applies to most things. For something like Steve not watching Game of Thrones.
Thank you.
It's a little different because you're asking Steve, like, hey, did you see Game of Thrones in the middle of 2012? And it's like, everybody's talking about it. It's like, oh, you're missing out on this big societal event.
And it's kind of relevant because you do pop culture and hockey.
Exactly.
Yeah, but there's too many things.
But now that it's past and you haven't seen it, that is fine.
Yeah, it's fine now.
People need to let you go.
I missed it.
I've never seen any Star Wars. I didn't watch it as a kid because I didn't grow up in a family that watched a lot of sci-fi stuff. Like, that wasn't something I consumed. I watched other movies. Like, I've seen a whole bunch of movies. Just that wasn't one of them I consumed when Star Wars was big. Was never a big fan of it. Let it go. Let me live my fucking life. Steve, have you listened to the new Taylor Swift album?
Nope.
That's fine. That is fine. Nobody should be mad at you.
So you're right.
Don't be, oh my God. You haven't heard the new album? You haven't seen Avatar? Oh!
I haven't heard.
How are you alive? You haven't seen Avatar?
I haven't heard any Kanye West music for like a decade.
Good.
Because, well, first of all, good because he's lost his mind. But also, he started putting all this shit on his own streaming service that I'm for sure not buying or paying for. So, oh, you haven't heard that? Of course I fucking haven't.
You didn't see Breaking Bad? Oh, that's fine.
Yeah,
It's gone now.
That moment has passed.
When you're living in that moment, I'll give it to you. Give people shit because everybody's collectively doing it at once. Like White Lotus was on a couple weeks ago. If you weren't watching White Lotus, like where were you at? But now, like in a year, if I'm like, oh, you haven't seen White Lotus yet? No, I missed you. Passed you by. That's okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What if they do see it and still don't enjoy it?
Then that's their opinion on the media, on the piece of media.
Okay.
That's okay.
That's all right.
Okay.
Let people enjoy things that everybody likes.
Let people miss things if they want to miss it, if it happened to miss them.
Underrated in this conversation, and it didn't used to be this way. It didn't used to be this way. We remember a time where TV shows were 22 minutes.
Yes.
They're not anymore. It's a movie. They're all 45, 50, 60-minute movies.
No.
They're movies.
You're watching different television. I've gone back and I've watched all of The Sopranos. Sopranos were an hour. You're watching now. What you're watching is prestige television. You, as a kid, when it was 22 minutes, you're watching fucking cartoons.
You're watching McDonald's television.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
You're also
What's the plot here?
No, The Sopranos was historically significant because it was like the first big show on HBO.
Yeah,
like that.
Oh,
it's different.
No, The Wire was fucking 15 minutes long.
I haven't seen The Wire.
And the L Word and 6 Feet Under and all the other ones.
There were 22-minute shows. There's always been 22-minute shows and hour-long shows, Steve. Get out of here.
No, but The Sopranos was one of the first. It was one of the first. Yeah, but now it's the thing.
No, but most of these shows now you're watching, they don't run on television. They don't have to pause for commercials. They're not 48 minutes. They're on streaming networks. That's on HBO.
Oh yeah, you're right.
They don't have commercials.
Never ran on conventional.
You're talking about something completely different.
Maybe you're right.
Come on.
HBO was the first subscription.
What made me so upset about this is the people who got so mad at me for not playing Halo as a kid. I didn't own an Xbox. I don't like shooters. It's not. I didn't play shooters. I played sports games all my life. I played Madden for hours on end growing up. I didn't play shooters. And people so mad. Oh, you don't know Master Chief? Yeah, I didn't play the fucking game.
There were the people very offended.
I'm not going back, and I'm not going back and playing Halo. I'm not buying an Xbox. I don't want a fucking Sony console.
I had an Xbox.
You know what?
It.
You did.
It's okay. I missed it.
It's a little weird that you didn't play it when it was at its peak. But
at least
now it's 2022 and you've missed it.
Yeah, I missed it. That's okay.
That's okay.
Can that be okay?
I was wondering where this was coming from.
That's what made me upset. People upset I didn't know Master Chief.
Well, I see. Here's the thing. I didn't own an Xbox when it was the in thing. Mm-hmm. I did own one once, and then I got the red ring of death, and I said never again with this console because it lasted me 7 or 8 months. But the thing is that whenever I went over to somebody else's house, they had it. So I was sort of forced to play if I was going to do what my friends were doing. So that's how I played Halo. So I'm surprised that you didn't at least know that.
Yeah. I never grew up playing shooters.
It's like Guitar Hero.
That's kind of it. There was Guitar Hero. For a long time I never owned like a Rock Band or everything.
But you're at somebody's house and they're like, you got to play because everybody's playing.
Yeah.
All right.
There it is. Anyways, that made me really upset. Steve, go ahead.
Listen, we're always trying to find new ways to keep people safe. We're trying to find new ways to save lives. We're trying to find new ways to... This is my first non-hockey one.
Where is he going?
We're trying to find ways to keep people safe, to save lives, and because of capitalism, we got to generate revenue somehow.
Right.
We got to generate...
More defibrillators. Got to save lives.
I don't care how you did the last time you had to get it. Every 5 years, you have to take an on-road test for your license. And you got to pay for it because tough shit. You got to pay for it. I don't care. Now, Steve, there's not nearly enough places. Make more places. Hire more people to work at those places. Generate jobs. Hire people to manage them. It should be way harder to drive. Are you serious? And if you disagree, if you're like Steve and you're all up in arms, it's you who is the reason for this. It's you who I and everyone else interested in being safe and living a peaceful life is trying to keep off of the damn road. Every 5 years, because sometimes you can do the test and forget. You go back to your asshole tendencies. And even if you find a way to be an asshole in years 2 to 4, you're going to be watching your ass in that final year. You're going to be like, I got that test coming up and I got to pay for it. And then you're going to be nicer. And then you pass your test. Hooray for you. And then you're going to keep up with the stuff you learn. I'm keeping you safer for longer on the road. How many people have you seen where they're like, I think you should leave skit where they're like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Oh, and they hold their wheel and they have no idea what they're doing. Every 5 years, you got to reapply. You got to take the written test. And if you pass that, and you better fucking hope you did, because you've been on the road the last 5 years, then you get the on-road test. And you better pass that too, because you've been on the road for the last 5 years. And if you fail it, tough shit. Take it again. Pay to take it again. Get off the fucking road.
I have a counterpoint to that, which begins with suck my ass.
Wow.
Suck my ass.
Adam's not doing it.
I would 100% keep Adam
I'll
off
tell
the
you
road.
something. I'll tell you
should
something.
be off the road.
I'll tell you something. I drive a gigantic, big F-150 motherfucker.
Based on that alone, get off the road.
And let me tell you something. Anytime and you're not going to like this, guys, anytime, especially our local government, gets involved in our lives, it goes poorly.
Oh.
And boy, did we see that throughout the pandemic. And by the way, have a good old-fashioned look at the party in charge. If you think I'm a conservative person, by what I'm saying here, you're probably going to be a little bit confused. And that's because anytime any government gets involved, I don't care what political stripe, gets too involved in the lives of its citizens, it creates nothing but fucking problems. We can't manage the shit we already have. We can't pay teachers enough. We can't pay nurses enough. You want to get...
I'm generating revenue for those things.
You want to find... No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're generating enough revenue.
You would take the test and fail it 5 times.
You're generating revenue
like for a teacher
to
for a
pay
day.
For more driving supporters. Do you think that that's going to raise money? That's not going to raise money.
I don't care if it raises money as long as it keeps unsafe drivers off the road.
Oh my gosh, Steve.
Get off the road.
No, fuck it.
He wants this every 5 years.
Every 5 years.
Yeah, I bet you do, Joseph Stalin. I bet you do. I bet you fucking do.
Wow.
Now, you know what I don't need? Another fucking requirement. I'm not a child. This is a country. And I am allowed.
Prove it.
I am allowed.
Prove it on the road.
I don't have to prove it.
Prove it on the road.
I'll prove it with my driving record.
You do have to prove it to get a license.
I prove it on my driving record.
Well, so Adam, let's keep the government out of our lives.
Everybody.
You don't need a license.
Let's penalize everybody for 2% of people.
You did 2% of people
are bad.
What fucking city do you drive in?
I'm sorry. You are the arbiter of what makes a good driver and what doesn't.
Yes, the fuck I am.
You're fucking mine.
I'm an amazing driver.
You are not.
Well, tell you what.
You are a very good, okay highway driver.
You're a very safe driver.
Let's get an expert. No, I'm a grandmother. According to this guy.
I think if more people drove like Steve, it'd be a safer road.
It'd be much safer, and we get everywhere quicker because there'd be fewer.
No, we wouldn't. We'd already wait at the fucking driving test line to get our fucking driver's test done.
No, listen, Adam.
No way. Are you adding another
should you need a license,
bullshit
yes or no?
government thing to my life? No, thank
yes
you.
Or no?
That's over.
Should you need a license? Yes or no?
Yes.
Communist.
What? All right, that was fun. That's a bullshit idea, though. You give the wrong people the wrong impressions, man. I don't like that.
No,
all right.
Hey, listen, I'm fully on board with the government will fuck it up. The government...
It's going to make it worse, man.
The government fucked up weed.
I know.
How aren't you making money off drugs?
Yeah. Anyway, let's continue.
Steve, I don't disagree that people should have to re-up their driver's license.
Every 5 years. You don't agree? Or you
I don't disagree.
Oh, you don't disagree?
Yeah. 5 years is a little excessive, maybe every 15.
You know what?
Something.
That's what I have to say to both of you.
No, Adam, sorry that you have to drive safely.
Yeah.
You can fucking roll
I like how your first defense was, I drive a big fuck off truck.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're really winning over hearts and minds.
I don't.
Yeah.
My last one.
Oh, no, hold on. I haven't gone yet.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that was Steve.
Let me go. All right, guys. As I told you, all of mine start with I'm 100% certain.
You shouldn't need a license.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
You should be able to speed in every street.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I actually don't like when people speed, especially on the streets, especially with a young kid. But let's move on.
Sure.
I am 100% certain that the way that you tape your stick has zero impact on how you play hockey. So your cool way of taping your stick is bullshit and a waste of time. And all that shit that you saw, and I'm sorry, Jason Spezza, I'm calling you out on this, about how he tapes his stick before the game, that's all psychological, making you feel good about how you play.
It's a gazebo.
But it's literally less than a millimeter thick. Fuck off. Stop. I see all these chirps online talking about how guys tape their sticks. Fuck off. The reason that you're at home chirping guys is because you couldn't fucking play. It had nothing to do with the way you fucking taped, okay? Fuck off. I've always hated that shit.
But Adam,
you could tape it any color, any way that you want. It's not going to change the trajectory of the puck. You know what it is? Your hand-eye coordination. Fuck off.
But Adam, the stick is $400. Think of how much better it would be if I put exactly 3 cents worth of tape on.
I know, right? No, this is one of the. So this is why when I thought it was like funny when you and he's St. Louis Blues assistant coach.
Oh, Mark Savard
had conversations about this and how he was really into taping his stick, and like I found it super endearing when Spezza was talking about it. But I feel like I'm the only one. Like, who's like, this doesn't matter, right?
Nah,
none of this shit fucking matters.
It fucking matters.
How does this matter?
You know who taught me it matters?
Who?
Eric fucking Lindros. I used to tape my stick with a giant knob at the top. And Eric Lindros at the Eric Lindros Celebrity Classic presented by Easter Seals.
Yes.
Took my stick and said, you know what? your stick's a little heavier than it should be because you have this giant knob at the top. You should unwrap this knob, just tape it real straight, real light. It'll be so much easier for somebody who's not very good at hockey to carry a lighter stick.
Fair enough.
And you know what I've never done? Ever had a giant knob at the top of my stick ever again.
And you're so much better.
He is.
I am.
So much better.
I am.
It can't be the fact that you guys are going to hockey practice school every fucking Friday now.
No,
it couldn't be that.
My stick is...
And you know what? And Eric Lindros, who put exactly this much tape on his stick. Yeah, no, he wouldn't have been good without it.
For an amateur like me, a little bit of a lighter stick definitely helps me fling it around.
Okay. All right.
Eric Lindros taught me that taping your stick matters, Adam.
It doesn't mean shit.
These professionals are so careful with how they do their sticks. Have you ever seen them sand them with a sander?
Yes. They're sanding a carbon shafted stick.
Yeah.
Spezza even says there's really no reason for this.
No, they do it because it matters. The professionals know every minute detail of their equipment.
Right.
There's a reason they're professionals. They see the game so much at such a higher level than us laymen. You know? So
yeah, us laymen like Artemi Panarin and David Pasternak.
Exactly.
And Ryan O'Reilly. And
who barely tape it at all.
If a player cares about the tape of their stick, that means it's affecting their game. There's a reason for it.
But it has no physical effect. It's a mental
What do you mean?
effect. It's a mental effect.
Mental and physical are the same thing.
No, they're not the same.
They're the exact same thing.
It doesn't make you better.
It
Stop
does.
it. It doesn't make you better. It's never made you better.
If I've been taping my stick front to back and I got a little toe curve on the end, and if I've been doing that the same way since junior and I got to the NHL and then I stopped doing it because I'm like, oh, it doesn't matter. Adam Wild said it doesn't matter.
Well, then you'll fall out of the NHL. You'll lose your contract. You're done.
I won't be as good.
You're right.
That mental aspect is a part of the physical aspect. It's all one and the same. It's all your game.
I remember growing up too. They'd be like, tape the stick and then you put wax on it too.
Yeah.
What the fuck does that do?
I have no idea.
Yeah, you got your mom.
Make it smoother?
You're tracking all your mom's fucking Bed Bath and Beyond candles. Like I'm seeing these fucking kids with pink fucking candles going, yeah, this will make me better. House League All-Star. Fuck off.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
Hey,
you
how
know,
about
the
this?
the freshest selling fucking cents on the team. It was crazy.
How about this? Henry Lundqvist, one of the best goalies of all time. Giant fucking thing at the top of the stick.
Yes, I'm sure that helped him.
Mark Stone, one of the best
more about
defensive
the
forwards
blades
in the
and the
game.
top.
No, wait. Both those sticks should be illegal. Both of them should be illegal every time they take to the ice with
so
that
Henrik
stick.
what and Mark what?
Henrik Lundqvist and Mark Stone.
Hey, why?
Because what the fuck? That's a ridiculous advantage. Your goalie stick is supposed to slide out of your hand if you use it like a goddamn pool cue, like Henrik Lundqvist did. But the reason it didn't slide out of his hand is because he had a big fuck off
handle
roll
at
of
the
tape.
end. Yeah,
Little
stopper.
What?
Yeah.
That's illegal. Okay, can I make that out of titanium? Can I have a titanium metal plate at the top of my stick?
Why not just build it into the stick?
Can it be plastic? No. So why the fuck are you allowed to have an entire roll of tape at the top? What if I had a big metal knob at the top of my stick like Mark Stone does? You tell me to fuck off. Exactly. So you fuck off. You're not allowed to play with that stick. It should be illegal.
There you go.
Your set is over.
Hey, think you know which way it's going to go? Make your bet at Sports Interaction. Whatever your sport, Sports Interaction has you covered pregame. Live betting on all major sports and, of course, prop bets. Who doesn't love those? Want to bet? Head to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. 19 plus. Please play responsibly. Jesse.
Hottakeapalooza. My final performance today will be about something that a lot of people got very upset at me over. I said it about a month ago now. Steak's overrated. There's no reason that steak should be the delicacy that it should be. We build so much around, steak's so fancy. Steak is this, steak is that. You guys, it's 2 degrees away from a burger. What are we doing here? Why is a steak $80 and yet this great burger that tastes just as good is like $15? If you get a really good smash burger or something in downtown Toronto, it's just as good. Steak, there's no reason for the hype around it. We're cooking burgers the same way on the grill. It's the same meat. It's the same animal.
Do you want to help him or should I?
There's an element of truth.
Okay. A burger, you enjoy eating a burger just as much as you enjoy eating a steak.
And there's nothing wrong with it, but they're two different things.
Why is one $80?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Oh, God.
You're telling me that worth is...
Because one is a different cut of beef. One was raised differently.
Oh,
Guys,
maybe we should stop spending so much money raising this beef.
Oh, well, there's probably an argument to be made.
Well, now we're getting into the...
Yeah, I mean, if you want to make it serious.
Maybe I'm right.
And environmentally responsible.
I don't know. Maybe I'm right. Maybe just burgers taste just as good as steaks, so they're just enjoyable.
I have never had a chicken, turkey, or pig that tasted anything like the ribeye I had at Shaw's. I do...
There are many nights when I would much rather have a McDouble than a steak. Because that McDouble is just as good. It's beef. It is tasty. And one is $2.99 and one is $299.
I don't know if this is hot enough. I don't know
Because it's just true.
No, I think
People
I got
are
a
so
problem.
passionate about their steaks.
I got a problem with this. I
think this isn't
I got a
hot.
problem with this.
This isn't hot.
I got a problem with this.
It's just a take.
It's the fact. I think the fact is, man, and I don't mean to be mean here, but I don't know if you've had the great steak that would separate it from the shitty steaks that you've obviously had. Like when you go to a restaurant for a steak, where have you gone?
I've gone to like the Keg and stuff.
Okay, Keg's got good steaks.
Keg's got really good
Have
steaks.
you gone to like a crazy steakhouse where it's outrageously expensive?
What's the one on Lakeshore?
Harbor 60?
Yeah, is it Harbor 60?
Have you had a steak at Harbor 60?
I've never had a steak there.
Well, you need to have a steak.
So
this is like a Ruth's Chris, a Harbor 60, Barbarians, or whatever.
Highs.
yeah.
Jacobs.
Ruth's Chris I had.
Louis.
Ruthie
Ruth's
Daddy.
Chris?
Yeah, I've had that.
You know what? I volunteer to take you to a bunch of steakhouses and eat steak until you enjoy it.
No, you give me a really, really good burger. The best burger you've ever had.
Like a Kobe beef.
is as good as the best steak you've ever had. Fucking burger? If you had like a brioche bun with you throw ketchup on it.
Hold on. That's your problem, though. A burger cannot stand on its own versus a steak.
No, but the burger is
the burger plain. Have the burger plain.
No.
You're talking about piece of meat here.
No.
Apples to apples.
No, that's not your...
A burger patty does not stand up to a filet mignon.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Perfectly done with the crispy outside and the butter on the other.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the whole burger experience. The fucking thing you get as a sandwich.
Having it run down your arm.
If it's a $25 burger, that is going to be better than your most expensive steak. That fucking... If you throw an egg on your burger...
It's better quality.
Oh my God!
Better quality per capita. And first, that's the biggest stunt in all of stunt food. I hate eggs on burgers.
I like eggs on burgers.
Can I throw this at you, Steve?
Yeah.
You know there's going to be so many people in the comment section that are agreeing with him.
Yeah.
You know there's going to be a ton of people who are like...
The best high-end burger is so much better than your best high-end steak.
I think...
The full package of a burger.
Better per capita. Like per dollar.
Well, I don't think that you're eating steak on a dollar value. That doesn't determine taste.
No, but it costs so much.
Yeah, but it costs a lot.
Yeah,
right. Because it's rare, it's hard to do.
That's all in, though.
Cooking it properly, finding the right beef, sourcing it all out. This is what we need to take. I would
rather pay less and get a burger that's just as good.
I'm taking you out for an expensive steak.
Well, what about me? I'm also not convinced.
This is how I know you're on my team. Come on.
No, I'm also not convinced.
The all-in package of a burger is so much more worth it than a steak.
Oh, man.
It's ridiculous. Adam, you can't say the money doesn't matter because that's what a part of the steak is, that it's expensive and rare and all that. The burger's just as good. Steve, you're up. I guess that you're
you know, we talked about this one of the first episodes we ever did of the podcast. Adam brings it up very often. What did I say? Do you remember? I said something is going to be gone in our lifetime. Fighting
in hockey.
Fighting in hockey. Adam, how long do you think it'll take for fighting to be out of hockey?
Be out fully?
Yeah.
I think it's going to take a whopping lawsuit, like one bigger than the one they settled.
But what amount of time?
5 to 7 years.
5 to 7 years. Jesse, what do you think?
Like 20 to 40.
Wow.
Okay, 20 to 40.
Yeah. I think concussion research needs to really hit people too.
Yeah, I don't think we're there, even close.
I have bad news for the both of you. fighting's already out of hockey. It came and went and we didn't even notice. There is a fight in hockey almost as rarely as there is a bench clearing brawl in baseball, as there is a pushing and shoving match in basketball. Soccer is a bit of its own animal.
Yeah.
Fighting is not in hockey, and it hasn't been for a number of years now. It came and went. I didn't even notice it, but I had the realization that it's gone. It's gone. A true hockey fight is so rare. We saw one this week. I can't even remember the two combatants, but the star players are not doing it. And when they do, it's a tussle. They punch in the padding because they're too afraid to take someone out, and they wrestle to the ground, and they're done.
There are certain nights where there are no fights in the NHL.
There are certain nights, most nights.
Yeah.
Most nights there's no, and if there is a fighting major, was it really a fight? Go to hockeyfights.com.
The numbers don't back you up.
The numbers don't back me. Yeah, because it's going by fighting majors.
Yeah.
Fighting majors are less than 5 punches exchanged total these days. Fighting came, fighting went, and it ain't coming back.
According to hockeyfights.com, team fighting majors, Philadelphia Flyers lead the way with 20, Canucks have 19, Preds have 16, Ottawa Senators 15, Wild 14, Ducks 12, Islanders 12, Lightning 12, Coyotes 11, Bruins 11. That doesn't sound like fighting is out of hockey.
It's pretty close. It's as out as it's ever been.
The top two teams combined for 39 fighting majors.
How many teams have fewer than 5?
Fewer than 5. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7 teams with fewer than 5. During the lifetime of this podcast, even, there were dudes who fought 30 times a year. Who's number one? The Flyers?
Flyers, yeah. I think Nick Delorier currently leads the league in fights.
Because that's all he does. And all these dudes just fight each other.
He's got 8.
The vast majority of hockey players starting their career, let's say 5 years ago to today, will have fewer than 3 fights in their entire NHL career. That never used to be a thing.
Arbor Jacki has 5.
Arbor Jacki is the unicorn. He's the unicorn. He's one guy.
You got an excuse for everything, don't you?
That's one guy.
Tanner Jeannot almost won the Calder Trophy last year. 5.
Serge Ibaka is the equivalent of that in the NBA. Because that guy was always willing to throw
5 fights in his second year in his league.
It felt like it. Sometimes it started to feel like it, and I loved him for it. This is not an argument for it. It's not an argument against it. It's an argument that it's come and gone. Its role in the sport is gone. And when it does happen, it's out of anger, just like it is in every other sport. Maybe it's not gone, but it is not unique to hockey anymore. Fighting is as normal to hockey as it is to baseball and to basketball these days. Gone are the days of the enforcers like George Laraque and other dudes roughly his size going toe-to-toe off the face-off based on a conversation that they casually had at the face-off.
They wink and they're like, okay, let's give these fans something to talk about.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. Fights are only born from anger. There's none of this, all right, let's change the momentum, boys. All right, I'm going to send a message. All right, let's try to... It's all gone. It's all gone. It went out with a whimper, not with a roar. It's gone.
I wholeheartedly disagree.
I think you're playing with two aspects, right? Because the types of fights that we used to see with guys swinging wildly at each other's heads, like it used to be like the thing was get your helmets off, right? Mm-hmm. Now you can't take them off.
No, you can't take them off.
I think the type of fighting that Steve is talking about is out of the game. But to say fighting's out of the game is a bridge too far.
No, call me when a guy gets suspended for fighting. That's what happens in the other sports. If you said it's at the other sports, if you fight in the NBA, that's a 5-game suspension.
That's a good point.
Okay.
Adam, you're up.
There are certain things that you can do in life which may have me consider you to be a person that can kill without remorse. There are certain things certain people do. And what's interesting is they don't even have to be big things, right? And I am 100% certain that you are capable of killing without remorse if you're a person who during the winter regularly does not shovel your driveway, your walk, and your sidewalk unless you are not able to do so.
Right.
So as an able-bodied person, if you do not do this, there's always that fucking jackass house down the way. Everybody gets out, they shovel, they do their snow blowing, however they do it. But there's always that one house with those 3 or 4 sidewalk slots, right? Those pavement stones that are it's just like a pathway.
How about Andrew Berkshire's neighbor who they share a stairway and they shovel their half of the stairway?
That's what my neighbor does.
What?
Now,
Dickhole.
that's a dick move because I always shovel their half, but I don't think you're killing without remorse. I think you're killing without remorse, or you're capable of it if you can go an entire Canadian winter and not shovel your walk.
The springtime will shovel it.
That's right. That's right.
Especially in Toronto and the greater Toronto area where it'll be slushy and then freeze like rock for 2-3 months at a time.
Exactly. And the thing, so in Calgary, you actually could get away with it because Calgary, it snows and then it's gone the next week because there's been a Chinook.
Right.
So I can understand that. There's some climate differences. We don't have that
It just becomes part of the landscape.
Right.
There's this rocky piece of sidewalk.
People just drive over it all the time.
Yes.
It's a little lower.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you're that person, I have suspicions about you. And I always will. There are that to me, think about the type of where you got to be if you're able-bodied and clear-headed to be that kind of, I don't even know if I want to call it lazy. Is it ignorant? Is it obnoxious?
I think it'd be okay to knock on their door and be like, "Can I check your freezer?"
Right?
And if they say no, call the cops.
Because I don't think I've seen I don't give a fuck about you that hits harder than that. Maybe the only thing worse is somebody cutting you off in the middle of a snowstorm because they need to get home 3 seconds faster than you.
Mm-hmm.
That
person needs to get their driver's license renewed every 5 years.
Yeah. That's an I don't give a fuck what happens to you in front of my house. And when you walk up to my house, I don't give a fuck. Fuck off with your shit. I don't care if you fall. I don't care if you get hurt. That's the kind of ignorant, obnoxious bullshit that I hate. I can't stand that.
That, I think, goes back to an ancient instinct of that person is not good for the tribe.
Right.
That person we're all trying to live and survive together. We all got to pull our weight in the ways that we can.
And it's not part of the rules that you have to.
It's not part of the rules. It's implied. And I'm just picturing this speed bump in the middle of the fucking road. Now I'm mad.
Right.
Now I'm mad, Adam.
Right?
Because, no, your instinct isn't this is a bad person. This person is bad for the people.
Aha. Kills without remorse.
Yes. Kill without remorse.
And here's the thing. So Steve's got a big dog. I had a big dog growing up. And I remember thinking this the first time. My dog Max was 100 pounds. Okay? Big boy.
That's a big dog.
And he was he was the runt of the litter. We're like, oh, we're getting a 50-pound dog, really small. No. And so he was Dalmatian, Rottweiler, and Beagle. So all 3 asshole breeds in one. And he was a lovely guy. He was amazing. And the thing with Max was he was going to chase. He was going to sniff and he was going to chase. And I can remember that one neighbor on Tilly Drive where I grew up in Scarborough, walking up Tilly Drive to Adams Park so I could go off leash with Max.
There was a park near Adams' house named Adams Park.
And
was it named after you?
No, but it was one of the founding families of the area.
Your family?
No, definitely not. That's my first name, not my last.
Lying.
But it had a great tobogganing spot, and Max loved it, and whatever, he could chase squirrels to his heart's content. But I remember it had snowed, and then it had rained, and then it had frozen up, and then it had snowed again. So then you don't know where you're kind of standing, right? And I remember walking. Here's a squirrel. Max is off, and I am less than 100 pounds at this point walking this dog. And so I am off too, right? I was off my 2 feet faster than you can imagine. And he dragged me down the street several houses. But I remember when the ice ended, just like my time, wrap it up, because the snow started to slow down because I didn't slide anymore. I was just, rubbing along on the pavement. So I'm telling you, if you're one of those people, knock that shit off.
I'm going to throw this into the equation. Brake checkers. if you are a brake checker.
Oh, you should watch Formula One. People do that all the time. Hit that exit.
That's competitive race car driving, which, by the way, you're not doing on the goddamn 401.
This has been Hot Take-A-Palooza.
I liked it.
We'll be back in 2023 with another Hot Take-A-Palooza.
That's our entire show. Is it not?
Kind of.
Yeah.
All right. To the steakhouse.
The Steve Dangle Podcast.
Powered by Sports Interaction. Want to bet?
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.